how you play the game with the people that writing the rules. Ain't the fame that I'm after when paying the dues. I've been through the pain that's reflected in the attitude. Might be winning now, but the thing is that I had to lose. So go and tell me what you really wanna do. And lonely at the top, cause there ain't a lot of room. Ain't no other option, it's all I ever knew. So I'ma get it poppin', you know how I'ma do. I've been down through the blood and the sweat. Guarantee you can know I'm a threat. I've been down through the blood and the sweat. And I ain't close to being done yet, I'm going all in. Yeah, I'm going all in. And I ain't close to being done yet, I'm going all in. Yeah. They know I'm going all in.
What is up, gentlemen, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Niner Boys podcast. We are live at 6:30 every Tuesday Pacific Standard Time. We're running a little bit late tonight, but nevertheless, I got my two boys with me. I got Pete. What's up, Pete?
What up, Beto? Like another somber week, trying to figure it out, but it's a quick turnaround because we got another game this Thursday.
Yep. Real quick turnaround. Brandon, how you doing, my friend?
Yo, I'm doing well. Tough loss for sure. I'm pretty pissed off about it. Sorry about my background noise. That's my family talking hella loud. But doing well. I'm starting to get a little bit worried about this team, but we'll jump right into it right now.
Yeah, it's another game that I felt that the Niners gave away in the fourth quarter. Seems like it's being repetitious way too much. And two divisional loss to the Rams, that a game that the Niners gave away. And the Cardinals, I mean, the Cardinals defense is no bueno. And they held us without points for 2 quarters. It's like this high-power offense with all these weapons, and you can't score any points. And it's you're having a bad day when your damn kicker gets hurt and you lose him for a few weeks. You've fallen into that rabbit hole. The Niners did sign a new kicker. His name is right. Robert Saleh. He'll be kicking for the Niners after kicking himself for not keeping the job with the Jets. Real quick, before we go on the Niners, Pete, and then I'll get Brandon's. What are your thoughts of firing Robert Saleh? You think they fired him too soon, not soon enough? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think that the writing was on the wall as far as I didn't know if they would fire him in the middle of the season, but I think the writing was on the wall. I didn't think him and Aaron Rodgers were vibing. And I mean, it is what it is. And like he couldn't get. They just weren't playing well. They're just still not playing well. And even with an Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, and I think that they've been wanting to get rid of Saleh because of how badly the team has been going. But I think that the quarterback position was the only reason why they were because he never had a quarterback was the reason why he was getting by. And then they give him Aaron Rodgers, and it still looks bad. So, and I don't think it was his fault, but it is what it is.
I hear you. What about you, Brandon? What are your thoughts on the whole firing of Robert Saleh?
This has Aaron Rodgers' name all over it. I'm sorry. He did it with Mike McCarthy back in Green Bay, and he did it again with Robert Saleh here not here, but in the East Coast in New York. From what I heard, I don't know how true this is, but it was starting to talk about not getting rid of Hackett, but having somebody else call the offensive plays for the rest of the season, basically, because the offense was just doing jack shit out there in 5 weeks. So I think because Aaron heard that, and he's a big Nathaniel Hackett fan, and I think somehow, some way, he got Robert Saleh out of there. To be honest with you.
Yeah, the whole thing that Aaron Rodgers, what did he say? He says, I was shocked that they fired Coach Sala. And I'm like, come on, Aaron. Shocked my butt, bro. You weren't shocked. You were the front runner. You're like,
Yeah.
it's either him or me. And I thought when they brought in Rodgers that it was doomsday for Robert Saleh from that point on. And I wish Robert Saleh the best. He'll be on vacation. He'll get paid by the Jets and be on vacation with his family.
Yep.
And then he'll
He
get
said
a
he's
job
the rest of the season.
as a defensive coordinator. As long as it's not with the 49ers, I am good.
Why not?
I don't like his in-game adjustments. I never did, and I still don't. I think if the Jets, I was saying this earlier to Pete before we went live, that I don't think Jeff Ulbrich I don't think they intend to keep him as a head coach. And if he doesn't do good, and that team's really distraught right now, they're going to let him go when they bring in a new regime. And the Niners wanted him, and the Jets blocked the Niners to get in Jeff Ulbrich. So why not get him at the end of the year? Or,
I think it's gonna. I think
I
it's
heard
gonna. It's gonna.
Who was the
I think
last?
it's gonna make. It's gonna make a difference. Like what? It depends on how the Jets look. Like if the Jets look like they, like the dude from the Raiders, the head coach for the Raiders. I don't think anybody was planning on him being the guy going forward, and he ended up keeping the job. I think that Ulbrich is honestly like auditioning for other teams as well. So if they do well, and they even turn around the season a little bit, and they just look a little bit better, he could be going for more than a defense coordinator position.
really?
I mean, he's got the job now. So if they make any kind of turnaround to where it just looks serviceable, and they could still lose games, but if it looks like that the team is like fighting and they're putting up more points, it just looks better on paper. Don't tell me that another team isn't going to take a chance on him, or the Jets decide, let's see where this goes. Like that, the league does it all the time.
I don't see it happening.
Yeah,
We'll see. We shall see.
You're
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
You're talking about Jeff Ulbrich, right?
Yeah, I'm
If,
talking about Jeff Ulbrich.
Enough about that team. Let's talk about our damn Niners. Let's get right into it. There's so much to talk about. Okay.
Yeah. So
So-
since you changed it which is good, you transitioned. What were your thoughts on the game on Sunday, Brandon?
So Sunday, first half, looking good like always, right? And then finally, Brandon Ayuk goes out there and has a freaking game, right? And everything was basically going. Yeah, Purdy was holding on to the ball too much, whatever. But like we're still going down the field. Come out second half, bro. I don't know what the fuck happened to us. It's like we didn't come back out from the locker room in the second half. Like we scored 0 points all second half. We let Arizona come back into the game. Offense wasn't doing jack shit. Receivers weren't getting open. O-line wasn't protecting. Brock Purdy's holding on to the damn ball too much. We're not running the damn ball. Defense looked fucking horrible second half. My question is, what the fuck was Kyle doing out there? What was he calling out there that shit was just not working? We were 1 for 6 in the red zone. Red zone, we were complete fucking trash. Like, I'm starting to worry about this damn team. I really am.
Mm-hmm.
You want to add to that, Pete?
One more thing. I don't think we're a Super Bowl contending team right now.
We're not?
We're not.
I'm not ready to jump off the ship yet.
Me neither.
Like the Niners had worse record and still made it to the
They were
NFC
3 and
Championship
5.
game.
Made it to the NFC
And-
Championship.
Yeah, but
So-
that was totally different. We didn't look this bad that year.
I don't think we're looking
No,
bad.
we laid some eggs like that year. They lost to Arizona that year. Like they lost to a couple of teams twice, and this is the thing. Kyle just needs to figure it out. And it really comes down, like you were talking about the red zone offense. It's not just the red zone offense. It's this offense in general. I've been talking about it for over a year now. And before I used to say it about when they got to the playoffs and they started playing better teams, but now I think it's leaked over into the regular season now. I think that teams are figuring out the overall scheme, and it's going to get to the point, I think, that this scheme always had a ceiling on it. Because if you notice, 2019, did the 49ers have the same weapons that they have now? No, they didn't. Like, they had a couple of good players, but they did not have the weapons that they have now. But yet and still, I mean, last year's numbers weren't too far off from 2019's offensive numbers. Yeah, we had a different quarterback, more interceptions, but the offensive numbers weren't too far off. And I just feel like this offensive scheme has a ceiling upon it, and eventually Shanny is going to have to take the training wheels off, and he's going to have to give some of this to Brock and let him do some things to take advantage of matchups. Right now, our offense does not take advantage of any matchups. Kyle has talked about it multiple times that his offense is predicated on beating the defensive scheme, not the player on the other side. So he is going to have to start taking advantage of matchups and come out of his comfort zone, because right now they are predictable, and there is no continuity in this offensive. There is no flow. So that's how I feel about it. I think it was just terrible.
Pete, Brock Purdy said it best in the presser.
Yeah, they have no identity.
They have no identity whatsoever.
They have no identity, and I've been saying that as well.
Here's my question for you guys now. Kyle goes up to the presser after that embarrassing loss, and basically turns the page, says, "We're on to Seattle." Like, he just told the guys we're on to Seattle. Like, talks nothing about the game afterwards. Is that worrisome to you guys?
I mean, it's not surprising. I just think it's not surprising that when is Kyle, if you're waiting for Kyle Shanahan to take accountability, you're going to be waiting. He's not going to do it. Never. He's never done it.
Not. Nope.
So, like, I wouldn't even waste my time waiting for him to hold himself accountable. That's just not even on my dance card. Like, I'm not even thinking about that part. My bigger concern is that they establish an identity, and like that they find something that works and they stick with it. Like, right now, I feel like there's so many weapons on this team that Kyle cannot find any kind of rhythm. He keeps jumping from thing to thing to thing, and there's nothing is building any momentum. And it's just too many bells and whistles, too many motions. I've been saying that for a couple of years now. I just think it's too much. It looks great when it works, but when it doesn't work, it looks like a car crash.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. He likes to get cute way too many times instead of just going straight down. The fact that we don't have a Christian McCaffrey, and I think Kyle depends a lot upon Christian and the way he plans his game plan, the way he utilizes him, as whether it's a decoy or not. And he is definitely missing Christian McCaffrey. And we do have a lot of players that are hurt. I'm not making any excuses, but I mean, there are players like Juwan Jennings that is having a freaking good year. Unfortunately, there's nothing to show for. Brandon Ayuk finally started to step up, but we got the loss, so he can't really celebrate it. The defense cannot stop the run. Listen, against the Arizona Cardinals, the Niners pretty much held O'Connor to, I forgot how many yards, but it wasn't
9 yards in the first half.
Okay. So my question is this. What happened from the first half to the second half? We didn't lose anybody.
Bosa told you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he said in his press conference, he
There's
said,
no,
"Hey, they made adjustments and we didn't."
yeah. And
yeah,
but I think
there's
there's
no leadership, dude.
but not only that, but there's one guy just who does not belong as a starting linebacker.
Yes.
Get the
Well,
Campbell out of there.
Yeah.
The
why?
dude is
Yeah,
slow,
Who-
can't cover.
why wasn't Winters out there as much? Like,
That's the
honestly,
question. Why not? Why not put him out there?
Well, Kyle values vets. He just does.
He can stick
He
that up
always
his
has.
butt.
Yeah, like he always does. He always has. And I think Sorensen, from to an extent, values vets. They're trying to get D Winters, get him mixed in, and see, and like just to make it obvious that he should be out there, and, instead of just kind of just embarrassing the vet and taking him and sitting him. But I think that's all it is, and eventually I think that they're just trying. They were hoping that he would be okay enough to get us to when Greenlaw comes back, and that's not the case. I don't think they want to depend on a rookie to get to Greenlaw, and and that's all. I think that's all it is they just don't want to depend on a rookie.
And it's sad. That's one thing I like
Dude,
about
but
McVay, Sean McVay. I don't like the Rams. Screw
And
the
Andy
Rams.
Reid. Andy Reid.
But McVay plays
yeah.
the best player that is available.
Well,
He doesn't care if you're a rookie or not.
That's my thing too. You're putting veterans out there that are making rookie mistakes. So why not just put the rookies out there and so they can make those rookie
At
mistakes?
least put a rookie that can move.
For
Campbell
example,
can't move. He can't
why
cover.
is Yedem still out
Well,
there?
the other part of it is D Winters was just coming off an injury as well.
True.
2 injuries. He came
That-
he
that-
came up to
That
back to
first
back injuries.
touchdown to Murray was Campbell.
Yeah.
And it's sad
Yeah,
that
no,
he couldn't
took
do
the
anything.
wrong angle and
if
he made the wrong
someone with speed
decision.
Cannot afford that.
Can I mention real quick? Mooney Ward got his ass beat all game by a
And
rookie.
Jair Brown has not been good. Let's keep it real. Our safety,
like that.
there's an issue.
And now we just lost Funga again. So like that's fucking great.
Oh yeah, Funga's out for months. They said,
Yeah.
Bro,
at
that guy
least a
comes
month.
in, plays, and then he's out. Then he comes in and plays, and he's out. It's like, dude, are you
Poor
And
guy.
trying?
honestly, he wasn't playing well. He wasn't playing well when
No,
he was
I
in
know.
there.
Look at what we got here. We got Clouds Chronicles in the
Oh, what up, Kelts?
What's
My
up,
God.
bro?
His way.
I thought you died, bro.
Whoa.
Bro, I haven't seen or heard from him in forever,
He
man.
comes out every Monday. Every
I saw that
Monday
he
on
had
the
a show
show.
yesterday with the boys.
I watched him and the straight from the Bay guys the other
Yeah,
day.
every Monday he
Shout
comes.
shout out to my guys.
Yep, shout out to them.
See what
Dude, I
happens,
missed
Brandon?
that, man.
If you block him, you're not going to see him. Keep it real, bro. No, just kidding.
Okay,
But-
here's my question, guys. So Nick Bosa basically calls out the coaching staff, right? Kyle Shanahan wasn't happy about it, but
I missed that whole thing. So it's
but
new
we
city,
can all
so
agree
tell me.
that Bosa's right?
Yeah. Oh, I
He's
agree.
irritated. He's upset.
I think he understands that like you have to make adjustments. I think they're all frustrated with the losses. I mean, because the defense played really well in the first half. Arizona had been scoring points regardless this season, and so for them to hold them to 10 points in the first half, I thought they did a really good job, even though the offense put them in bad positions a couple of times, and then the second half happened, and I felt like this is where the depth on the defensive line comes into play. I think they just got worn down.
I agree.
I think they got worn down, and at that point, they could not stop the run to save their life. And there was a couple of times where I felt like the defensive line had it exactly where they needed to be, and the linebackers just could not hold.
Yeah,
And so it goes back to what we were talking
Greenlaw.
about the other week is our linebackers. We are missing Greenlaw,
so
really
much.
bad.
Yes.
Like really bad. The
I mean,
49ers
the guy has more fire
depend on those
on the
linebackers.
sideline fighting for his players. Did you see Greenlaw go after?
Oh
that
yeah, I was
player?
like, man, don't get hurt. Please don't get hurt.
Yeah, but we're missing that type of fire though on this defense. And Fred
Yeah.
Warner, as good as he is, all pro Fred, first ballot Hall of Fame, in my opinion, can't do it all by himself.
Yeah.
He needs help. And Devontae Campbell is eating donuts and not doing anything.
Yeah.
You know, and who's on the other side? I'm
What do you
like,
mean?
yeah, when they play 3 linebacker sets, if they do.
Oh, well, they're putting DFF was hurt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why
so-
I can't think who they put out there. I know DFF is out there when he's healthy, but
I know. Well, no, Tatum Bethune, I don't think played.
they should.
And I know
And
he
they
was.
got
I know he
Cam
was
back.
active. I know he was active, and let me see.
Kyle just needs to get out of his own way and allow rookies to play. Like Brandon said earlier, you got these so-called vets that he trusts, but when they're making errors or they're making rookie mistakes or they are not able to play any longer because of their age, like Campbell, then you just got to take chances on your rookie. They may make you look bad. They may cost you the game, or you might be surprised, and they can turn around and help you. But in college defense too, D. Winters is the guy that should step up. But if he can't maintain himself healthy, it's hard to go that way when he's hurt as well. And Jair Brown is he's trying to do everything back there, and it's causing him his game. You know what I mean? And it's like I seen some bad tackles when I saw Connor just moving the ball and they couldn't stop him. I'm like, Jesus,
Bro,
this is terrible.
crazy.
And Connor just has those games against the 49ers on
Right,
a regular basis. That is he loves playing the 49ers. And it comes down to I think a guy like him takes it personal when a certain team is known as being tough and being a bully, and I think he gets a kick out of bullying the bully
Yeah,
and
let's
like
just put it
being rougher with them.
Real quick, I just want to ask you guys this question that my boy Rod mentioned. What's up, Rod? Welcome,
Rod,
David
what
McKnight.
up, Rod?
Welcome. Kenny's in the house. Captain Jason's in the house. Welcome, guys. What's up, fellas? Is Kyle slowly losing the locker room? Any of you guys can answer first.
I don't think he is. I don't think it's
think
even close. I don't even think it's close to losing the locker room. I don't think that's even a thing. I think everybody feels like it's a little weird right now, but at the same time, I think that they're gonna assume. I think they're assuming that Kyle's gonna figure it out because Kyle's a genius, and he's always figured it out, like in the past. So even when they start off rough, he eventually figures it out. So I think that they're just trusting in that Kyle's going to figure it out. But I'll be honest with you, I am not on the same page. I think that this is a problem, and I think that the more I see, this isn't like when they were 3-5, and the reason why they were losing was because Jimmy was throwing picks, there was they had obvious deficiencies on offense, like things that they just could not do, and their defense was just trying to hold them in every game. This is a complete breakdown and wishy-washiness on both sides of the ball. They don't have anywhere near the defense that they had before.
No,
And then the offense can't be consistent, and they can't sustain drives without getting penalties or just not block or guys missing their assignments. So it all comes back. Yeah, it all comes back to the coach.
Bro. Why can't Kyle do shit with these weapons, Pete?
Because I'm telling you, he cannot. It's too many weapons, and you've seen this happen a lot with teams that have a ton of weapons. They cannot figure out how to feed all the mouths, and it gets to a point to where you're not. Guys have to, a lot of the time they have to build momentum. They have to get touches,
Yeah.
and to be effective. And you can't just give a guy 4 targets and expect him to do something great. A lot of the time, it has to be something where you keep feeding a guy. And when you have all these mouths to feed like this, but I think it's clear what you were talking about earlier, as far as Jawan Jennings having having a good season, Brandon Ayuk randomly going off out of nowhere. That's the offense. That's the scheme. Like this, like what I was talking about earlier. The scheme is built to get guys open. What if the
They're
guys that
not.
we have, but what if the guys that we have aren't as great as we think they are? And it's the scheme that that has made them great.
Well, I could for sure tell you that that's Debo right there. Guy can never get
I
open.
mean, I think that they just get the ball. Debo is good at this thing. He's good. He used to be good at breaking tackles and taking one of the house randomly. That was what Debo was good at. He's good at with yards after the catch. But they're not. They're not.
Dude,
There's
dude,
no short
Pete,
passing game.
Is it really Debo's fault
Pete.
that he has to run this type of scheme that Kyle's putting out there? Maybe in a different scheme.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
I
here's
think
the
Kyle
perfect.
can hurt Debo and not
Here's
necessarily Debo hurt himself.
here's the
But
perfect
he's a
example.
guy that needs volume. He needs targets.
Yes.
Yeah,
And he only got how many targets last game?
Not many.
he didn't get many, but
Exactly.
he also was getting open when he was.
But
getting those targets.
everybody's. But what happens on Twitter? What
But
happens
hey,
on 49er Twitter? Everybody
real quick,
says, "Where was Brandon Ayuk? Where was Kittle? Where was Debo? Why aren't these guys producing?" They have to get targets.
Yeah, you
They
got
have
to
to
give him
get
the ball.
targets. But you can't give everybody the ball. The 49ers
Not consistently
only
for them
pass
to
the
warm
ball
up. No.
30 times a game. So everybody can't get the ball.
Kelt says it best. How the fuck are you in year 8 with identity issues?
Well, because you've got new, better players over and over. Every year, there's another guy that breaks out. Like, were we talking about Jawan Jennings like this last year?
No.
Were we talking about Brandon Ayuk like this last year?
No.
Like, or the year before that?
I know
No.
what you meant.
Every
Yeah.
year, there's a new person that blows up in this offense because the other defenses try to take out Debo. They try to take away Debo. So what happens? That opens up the scheme, opens it up for Ayuk. Then Ayuk blows up. They start covering Ayuk and Debo. So who does that open it up? It opens it up for Kittle or Jawan Jennings. Like
Let me put
that
let me put this out here
that is
too.
what's happening.
Yeah, let me put this out here too. So, mind you, this number one, Beto said it too. There's no short pass game right now. In the 5 weeks that we've been playing, it's always deep balls for some strange ass reason. That's number one. Okay, we're not doing the short passes like we used to the past couple of years.
They
Number
run after
two
the
is
catch.
yeah, that's why the yak is not there. We're dead last in yak. Okay, and then number two is why the fuck did we wait till the second quarter to give the ball to Jordan Mason? Start of the game was Debo in the backfield. Why? Why?
They were trying to get him going.
Yeah.
They were just trying to get Debo going, bro. Trying to get him the point is we have too many good players to give the ball all the time. So you're trying to get these players get going, find their niche in that particular game.
We don't need Debo in the backfield right now. We have Jordan Mason and we have God, I can't think. Yeah, Grindo.
And Patrick Taylor isn't bad either.
Yes.
But
We don't need Debo in the backfield. I'm sorry, but that's long gone. That's 2019. We don't need that shit no more. Everybody's figured Debo out in that situation, and he doesn't get that much yardage when he is in the backfield.
I don't think he likes being back there. I don't think it's him going up to Kyle and
I don't
saying, "Hey,
think
put
so
me
either.
back there." I think Debo wants to catch the ball and show what he can do as a receiver, and Kyle's kind of stuck in his ways in the way he wants to do things. He wants.
it's
See, the
because
thing
he's
is,
doing
see
defenses.
who's out of all the players right now. If I say who is close to playing like Christian McCaffrey, who would you call? Who would you say? Debo, right? Based on it. So why does Kyle?
that's
go to
why they're
Debo?
doing that.
Yes, he wants Christian McCaffrey so damn bad that he's trying to get at it from Debo, and Debo's not Christian McCaffrey. And
Debo
Kyle's
is not
trying to
even
go to
close
that
to
well.
Christian McCaffrey. The one who's close to Christian McCaffrey is Jordan Mason, and we have been seeing that, especially last year when we were splitting the ball between CMC and Jordan Mason.
No, Jordan Mason's
Jordan
his
Mason's
own person.
7 yards
Utilize him,
carry.
what he brings to the table. Forget about the way Christian McCaffrey plays. You don't have him.
Yes,
You don't have him. Utilize
exactly.
what Mason brings to the table. What does he do best? Utilize that and work on that. Forget about McCaffrey. Forget about trying to make him into McCaffrey. Utilize their skill sets at what they do best and try to stop making them to who they're not.
Yep, I agree. And this is the thing about Debo trying to use Debo. I agree with you. Him trying to use Debo like CMC. But this is the thing: Debo's not half the route runner that
No,
CMC
he's
is.
not.
No, he's not. He's not even close.
So that's not a good comparison either. But I think Kyle is. I think that the other team is always looking to hold. They're looking to hold Debo to. They're always tracking Debo. They want to shut him down first, and then because they know then they're going to have to go to Juwan Jennings. They're going to have to go to Brandon Ayuk. They're going to have to go to George Kittle, and they know that means that how many of those guys run him to the house? Not that they'll get maybe 5 or 10 extra yards, but they're not like Debo where he could take it to the house on any given play, which we haven't seen at all this year. I think that him losing a little bit of his weight and that kind of stuff, he isn't breaking tackles when he does get the ball. So it's a little bit of everything. I agree with Brandon as well about them throwing deep on a regular basis. I think that it gets under Kyle's skin that they're putting everybody at the line. So then they check out of the play, and now they're trying to go deep every play because they think that they should have that advantage. But it's not playing out because they're running 5-7 step drops, and Brock doesn't have time to throw. He doesn't have time to go through his read.
Not with that offensive line. No, you're absolutely right.
And people are talking. And there's one more thing.
He gets the ball where it needs to go.
Yeah, but one more thing. Real quick.
Yeah,
one more thing. Because this is this is the most important. People talk about how long Brock is holding on to the ball. He's running around. He's running for his life.
Yeah,
that is what is causing his average holding on to the ball so long. He's running for his life because
the line breaks down.
His first and second, they're taking his first and second read away, and then the line breaks down. There's no, and he's running for his life.
Center and right tackle.
Brock Purdy is a quick release quarterback. He'll get the ball out of the hands fast. But that's when when he threw that final interception to lose the game, people wanted to blame Brock on that. His arm got hit. Why? Because the defender got by our freaking lousy offensive line.
Well, it got padded, I thought. The ball got padded. It got tipped.
Yeah, that was on Brock. That was on Brock.
Not the last one.
He saw Kittle last one. Yeah,
the last one was on Brock.
But he got hit in his head.
And Brock admitted it. Brock said that.
Well, he takes accountability, bro. Unlike Kyle.
Well, yeah, no, but he admitted it in the moment. He said that he had his eyes set on Ayuk, and he should have been. He saw that Kittle was hot. He just made the wrong read. That was it.
But how does that change? How does that change from him? The ball his hand getting hit?
Because it was going to take more time. It's going to take more time. If he had hiked the ball and just threw it to Kittle, who was hot, it wouldn't have been. Kittle would have still been running. But he didn't, and they had too many guys. And people tried to blame Jordan Mason for his blocking, and it wasn't his fault. He did the exact right thing he was supposed to do in that situation. They just didn't. The offensive line overall was not prepared for, and that to me, that's the center's fault because he's the one calling the protections.
Brendo, yeah, of course, he's the worst out of all of them. He's even worse than McKivitz, in my opinion.
Yeah, dude. The center and right tackle is horrible. I'm sorry, but it is.
But and it's listen, Kyle. Listen, I'm not a Kyle hater. I'm not ready to fire Kyle, but I am getting irritated with him. The fact that he wants to run things his way. He wants to be the genius of why things happen the right way. He doesn't evolve. And okay, so why not go after some offensive linemen, some big boys that can protect? Because he feels that his scheme can help out the offensive lineman into when it doesn't. He feels that he can get players open so quickly that the ball can get out of Brock and they don't need that offensive lineman. But when it doesn't work and Brock gets his butt killed out there or he's running for his life, it's not working. Kyle needs to change his way of coaching. And I don't know if he can. I don't know if he can get away from his narcissistic ways of coaching. Can he develop a new way of coaching?
They said it. Go ahead, Brandon.
Oh, sorry. Can you answer me this? Why do some Niner fans out there think that this offensive line is doing fucking great?
Because they're seeing that they're well above the amount of seconds that it's taking Brock to get rid of the ball. Like they're using that stat,
right? Something like that.
They're using that stat to say that, well, they're holding up like way longer than they should have to, but Brock is just running from one side of the field to the other, and I guess kudos to them. Kudos to them that they don't get more holding calls. Ravens.
That line, I mean, that line is trash. When you got Brindo, and listen, I don't blame Brindo on Kyle. I blame that on the offensive line coach. That's his boy. It's like, I'm tired of that. It's like, come on, bro. What's up with being favoritism? Like, if I like you,
who's going to be there? Who are they going to put there?
But they could have drafted somebody, or they could have brought somebody off in the offseason. But
he doesn't draft.
No.
I feel like
if he busts Kyle, I think Kyle would have done it. But if he doesn't bust Kyle,
no. He said that Forrester said, and he made it very clear in the offseason. He said, "Hey, like, we don't believe here." He said, these were his exact words. "We don't believe here that Kyle believes in having weapons everywhere. So we don't, as long as our guys are serviceable and can get to a certain spot, we're fine with that." And then he said, and I agree with him for the most part.
No, he doesn't.
Like, which tells me,
say it. I hear you.
Exactly. That's my thing. I think Kyle just doesn't care about the offensive line. He's never cared about the offensive line, and and Forrester is just stuck with whatever they give him.
Yeah.
I think
that is true. That is true. I can't argue that.
The fact that he can get what he's gotten out of this group is wild. Like, I mean, Brendel was a journeyman. McKivitz shouldn't even be on the team, to be honest.
No.
And
McKivitz is like Bronny. Bronny should have never been drafted.
Don't do that.
Hey, go ahead. But am I lying?
You're gonna have people saying you're doing it for clicks.
He wasn't ready for the NBA. He still needed more time.
So when you have favoritism and people pull for you, they're going to get you in there, or you're going to play more snaps than you should because they like you. But Pete did make a good point that I didn't really focus too much on Forrester. Forrester does have to play or coach what he has. And Kyle wants to be the reason why we win. He wants to be the reason. Like, he schemed such a good game. He put up players and the ball on their players, and we did this and we did that because of Kyle. Instead of giving credit to the offensive line, McKivitz is always getting blown up. McKivitz is making Pooney bad because Pooney sometimes has to help out McKivitz, and McKivitz is the veteran. Mm-hmm. It's like you look at that and you assume that Pooney's the veteran and McKivitz is the rookie. The way they play out there, and Brendo don't know the difference between his head and his ass. And then you got Banks that is not really playing that great.
No, he's not playing well this year.
And
either.
Trent is getting up there in age, so he's slipping a little bit too. And now we're starting to see that Brock Purdy is not if I just want to say this, and I want to jump off, and I'll let you guys talk, but those that, and I can't hear it, bro. I can't hear it from no one, and I will choose not to hear it from no one. Anyone that wants to give blame to Brock Purdy, you don't know football. Anybody that wants to say that Brock Purdy is not an elite quarterback, we can have an argument. Did he do, when you don't have an offensive line protecting you, Joe Burrow, supposedly he's an elite quarterback, he's out there getting killed because his offensive line is not that good anymore. So you gotta, I don't care how good your quarterback is, you gotta protect him. You gotta give him opportunity to make his routes, to look through his routes, and they're not doing that for him.
Hey, so Matt Barrows just tweeted that I guess the Niners are having practice right now. They're practicing.
Well, yeah, they play on Thursday. They better.
I know, but I thought they played earlier. I thought they played earlier today.
They probably having a walkthrough type of practice.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't think they're out there doing a regular practice. I think it's more of a walkthrough. Listen, to transition to the game on Thursday, I want to get your guys' thoughts, and I want to get the thoughts of everybody in the comments as well. Let me know, guys. We care about your opinions. We may not agree with all your opinions, but we agree. We care about what you had. So speak freely in the comments. You're not going to get kicked out.
All right, Kyle.
Because we know. Oh, you could have talked about my mama, and I wouldn't got offended. You call me Kyle, and now I'm really pissed. I'm shocked that Brandon's talking a lot today. I'm like, Brandon, you snort some coke?
You know why? It's because the team is fucking.
This is a family show.
Sorry. Not with his cussing, it isn't.
I'm sorry. I'm telling you.
Cuss today.
He hasn't stopped cussing today. What are you talking about?
John V, what's up, man?
Just block it out.
Yeah.
No, just real quick. There's no reason why Brock Purdy should have been throwing 35 times in this game.
Not when you have Mason.
Exactly.
Not when you have Mason.
Our run game was working perfectly fine.
Kyle
So
just gets too cute.
Throwing, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So how much more of this do we have to endure before we really start thinking about moving on from Kyle?
When do they turn around? When do they turn
moving
this
on?
around?
It's not going to happen this season.
No, of course. And I don't even think it'll happen next season.
Yeah, and I'm still on the fence. I'm still on the fence about it because I love the culture that they have, and I do like Kyle as a coach, but I've got to see growth.
Yes.
I've got to see growth, and I don't see growth right now, and I haven't seen growth in the past 2 seasons, and it's that's my issue. Is we keep waiting for Kyle to grow. I don't think anybody's really I know that there's some people against Kyle, but a
lot of people
as
are
narcissistic and ego-driven as the man is, I think he is a very good coach. But
until he takes responsibility, he'll never change and grow.
I feel you. Maybe it's just that I would not be looking forward to what would happen if we lost Kyle, because it would be, unless they got a coach that ran his type of system, and brought maybe one of his former coaches along, to replace him.
But
they'd have to change
the system that we're afraid to change.
But
it's not bad.
I'm looking at the roster construction, and the roster construction is built for Kyle's system. It's not built for most teams are built, and so they would have, it would be a complete roster overhaul.
Well, we're getting up there in the money situation, so there has to be
so they wouldn't be able to do anything.
Changes.
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to do anything. Move certain. Well, there would be certain guys. Certain guys are coming up for contract this year. I believe they would. I don't even. Honestly, I don't even want to have that. We're so far away from this conversation.
Yes, we are.
We're so far away from this conversation that I don't even want to go down that route.
No, I hear
I could
you.
also say too, I'm kind of glad that this struggle is happening now than the back end of the season, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But these were games that they should have won. They
They
should
played
I mean,
a
at
team that is
least
not
been
better than
4-1.
them.
but do you remember how bad we felt when in Trey's rookie year when Jimmy's in and out of the lineup? We don't know what we got in Trey because he looks because we didn't understand, like nobody understood what Kyle was trying to do with him, and like and then he has the big game against the Texans.
Trey was
But then
trash. He was
Jimmy
trying to make
and
he was
then
trying to make trash look
well,
good when you can't make trash look good.
okay, but my point is does anybody remember the feeling of us 49ers at the time? Like we felt like every game was a must-win game because they were just trying to make the playoffs. And then they got to the playoffs and ended up getting all the way to the NFC Championship games. Not because they dominated, they were barely squeaking games out. Like remember the snow game for Green Bay? Like that. Yeah, I mean it was a lot of. It's not over. All I'm saying is it's not over. There's a lot of stuff that can happen. If all it's got to do is click for Kyle. All it's got to do is click for Kyle, and he's got to figure it out. And if he figures it out, because he is capable, if he figures it out, like then we're right on the horse. Our defense isn't going to be as good as it has been in the past.
It's not the same as the past couple years.
But the offense is completely different. The offense can be better.
Brandon, after Pete, I have a question for you that I would like you to answer.
I'm done.
Ronaldo Lopez. What's up, brother? Welcome. I want to get your answer, Brandon. It's not to put you on the spot. We will all answer it in our own ways. People said that Brock is not a $60 million quarterback, but there will be teams to give him. Oh, so he's not against Brock. My apologies, Rolando. I misunderstood your comment. But to his point, still, a lot of people say that he's not worth $60 million. Okay, because he might have limitations or not. Brandon, I'll start with you. The question is, you got to pay a quarterback based on the value of the market. Okay? If you have a quarterback that is leading your team, you got to pay him based on the value of the market, not what people think this individual should get paid or not get paid. If you're a player and you're playing to the best of your ability at your position, that position demands a certain amount, you're going to get paid $60 million if that's the case. So my point to you, Brandon, is Brock worth the $60 million? And if not, who in the heck are the Niners going to go after? They can place Brock's production here on this team, because that's getting rid of Brock is like getting rid of Kyle. Who are you going to bring in? So there.
I'll put this to rest right now. Brock Stain, he's our franchise quarterback. I don't know as of right now how much he's worth until the end of the season. Personally,
I already know. To be honest with you, I don't have to wait for the end of the
season.
season.
Between 50 to 60 mil.
He's in. You know why I know what he? You know why I know what
price is only going to go up.
You know. Yeah. You know why I know he's worth that? Only because of this. He's not going anywhere because of the kind of quarterback that he is, and whatever the market dictates at the end of the year is what he's going to get paid. So you know what I mean? Because he's good enough to stay. He's not just a guy that is just winning games here and there. He's good enough to win you games. He's taking you to the Super Bowl. So you're not going to get rid of a quarterback like that. You're going to keep him, and whatever the market is at, what it is, he's going to get paid. Because what are the other options? Let him go? I don't think that's happening. So Pete, let me get your thoughts. Great answer, Brandon. What's your thoughts on that, Pete? He's going to get the GM. Do you pay him the $60 million or do you move on?
Oh, I'm paying him. Like because I mean it just depends on what your plan is. What's your plan? Like if you end up, I mean, and I'm going to say this confidently because I know that they're not going to fire Kyle. Like I would be shocked. It would have to completely implode, and I don't think that that's going to happen. So the issue, I think they're going to pay him, and it's going, but is it going to be like when we talk about is it is he worth the money? Well, I mean, they paid Jimmy, and I'm not comparing him to Jimmy before anybody
Okay.
says anything.
I'm
I'm not
ready,
comparing
bro.
him to Jimmy, but they pay Jimmy got paid for doing less.
Yeah, Colts is saying it
And
right now.
because of
He's saying it
just
right
what you
now.
just said. Jimmy got to the Super Bowl, Jimmy got paid. Like the what's it called? Brock is gonna get broke off. He's
I like the
gonna
way you
get
put
broke
that.
off.
No pun intended. He's going to get broke off.
Yeah. It's going to get it's not even gonna be I think 60 is light work. I think he's gonna set it's gonna be a pretty substantial contract. They're gonna of course it's gonna be a lot of funny money, but
Of course,
regardless,
it's not.
he's a quarterback, so
It's just how they break the contract down that you have to
it's
look
gonna
at.
be substantial. It's gonna be
Yeah.
substantial.
Don't look at the main contract. Look at the what's the word
The
I'm looking for,
guarantees.
Pete? The guarantees. Thank
The
you. Yes.
guarantees. Yeah.
So Kyle says Jimmy got the bag. My eyes been open to Kyle's BS. It's gotten worse. Now, when it comes to Jimmy, for me personally, this is my opinion. You guys can think different, and that's fine. Jimmy is a complete system quarterback. He needs Kyle. I don't
Yep.
believe that people can argue all they want. I don't think Brock needs Kyle to be successful.
I don't
I
know.
think Brock can play under any head coach, under any system. He's still going to lack the arm strength. That's just part of it. But Breeze did not have Kyle, and he was successful. Brock can play what Brock does with his mind, the way he anticipates, the way he throws with precision. These are things that I never saw from Jimmy. Jimmy, you had to be open. And Jimmy had to see you open before he threw the ball. This is why he got intercepted a lot, because defenders were seeing Jimmy's eyes. Brock throws with anticipation. He believes you're going to get there, and he trusts, and Kyle trusts Brock more than he ever did Jimmy. He had no choice to work with Jimmy since he was brought in. He was going for Cousins, but they brought in Jimmy, and he had to do kind of like what you're saying with Forrester. Forrester had to work with what he got. Kyle had to work with Jimmy because John or York, whoever brought him in. Brock is not Josh Allen. He's not Patrick Mahomes. But besides those two, or Lamar, I love Lamar. But he is definitely a top 5 quarterback. I think he's better than Burrow, personally. And
Think
people
he's
want to
better than
argue.
Burrow? Okay.
Yes. What has Burrow? Okay, what has Burrow done more to? I mean, what has Burrow done in his career that you can ultimately say, "Wow, he is hands down better than Brock Purdy"? Let's be honest.
No. I think it's just the system. I think it's Kyle's system that
But he runs a system too in Cincinnati. Every quarterback runs a system.
is it a system? Is it a system in Cincinnati?
But
I
everything is
don't
a
know.
system. You coach your system, right? You coach your way of coaching. That's a system.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Like, I mean, I don't know.
Josh Allen is in a
Definitely
system.
has
Patrick Mahomes
he
is in a
definitely
system.
has a bigger I think he's probably pretty close to Brock, but I think he has a much bigger arm than Brock.
No, that he does. That he does.
And I think they're similar.
But that's not Brock's fault that he doesn't have.
But
that
I
strength
think
of
Brock
arm.
is better at getting at making plays off the cuff and like getting out of the pocket, short area
He
quickness,
can
that
extend
kind of
plays
stuff.
when he gets in trouble, and that's what an elite quarterback does. You got to
But
be able
that-
to get out of the pocket and extend plays when they break down. To me, that's what makes you elite. When the play breaks down and you can't do crap, then you're just assistant quarterback, per se. And I see Brock do that. He's been doing it with his legs. How many first downs did he got when Jimmy would have taken a sack for sure with his legs?
Yeah, no, I get it. No, you're never gonna find me arguing with you about between Brock and Jimmy. Like, but I will say this: like in everything that you said was true last season. This season, Brock is not as anticipatory Like he is waiting for the big play way more than he was before.
But how much is that
And
on him and more on Kyle that Kyle doesn't know how
we
to
don't
run
know.
a roster
But
because
we
he
don't
doesn't
know
have the
that.
tool. That's what I'm
We don't
saying.
know.
We don't
So
know
it's
that though.
hard to put
Like
that on Brock because we don't know that.
well,
We're seeing
I
what he's
get that.
doing.
But if that was any other quarterback, would you say that? No, you wouldn't. You'd blame it on the
Kyle,
quarterback.
yes.
Well, I'm talking about any other quarterback in the league. Would you say that? No, you would say it's on the quarterback. And you can't tell me, this is the thing, you can't tell me that if he makes a completion and gets a first down, Kyle's going to be upset.
No.
So I think that this is the next step in Brock's maturation process, is he has to get out of doing what Kyle tells him to do and just do what he sees on the field. Be confident in what he sees on the field. If what he's looking for is those long bombs or those longer passes, then he needs to work on just hitting the check down, because Jordan Mason is wide open a majority of the time. I mean, wide open. Like the underneath has been open for a while.
Brock is a gunslinger, so he'll go.
Okay, but he's got to get away from that.
Yeah, that was what's the name's fault. The guy from Green Bay, Farr. Farr never did checkdowns. That's why he threw so many interceptions.
But I mean, that's part of his maturation process. Is in the beginning, it was all about running Kyle's system, being anticipatory with the throw, like anticipating the throws, like hitting those tight windows. And then they started throwing a lot of underneath, like trying to get Debo the ball, doing a lot of the screens, and then teams started keying on that. So now they're trying to go over the top on a consistent basis, but they're not adjusting. At the next step of Brock's maturation is just taking what the defense gives. No matter what the read is, you've got if they post snap, you see something different, you've got to go with what you see, and just trust in it and get the ball to the open guy.
I got you. Niners throwback says Kevin O'Donnell or Ben Johnson. He feels that they can come in here and do something with this team now. What are your thoughts? Now they're unproven, obviously.
I mean, what has Ben Johnson done?
I'm just reading what he put.
I get it. I get it. Throwback. I appreciate it. This is the thing. Neither one of those guys has done anything. Either. We're talking about a guy that's been to the Super Bowl twice. Could they do something this year? Now, Kevin O'Connell, hot name. He's undefeated right now. They're playing really well with Sam Darnold. And I think Kevin O'Connell's a really good coach. Could he potentially do it? Of course he could. I think there's a lot of coaches out there that could potentially take the 49ers roster over the top.
And then you got the Chiefs who are playing like shit. They're also undefeated too.
Yeah, but how good would Kevin O'Connell's system look with this offensive line? And I think that's something that people don't think of, is the roster construction for the 49ers is specifically built for Kyle's system. Most of the, if the Bengals tried to run their system with our offensive line, it would, Burrow would be decapitated in the first quarter. With Ben Johnson, I feel like it would probably be the same thing with Ben Johnson. He actually wants to run the ball a lot, but do they run the same style that we run? And I don't think that they do. It's more of a power style. So I just don't think that they would take this roster and just do something with it. You would have to reconstruct that offensive line. I think for any coach to come in, you're probably going to have to redo that whole offensive line.
Got you. Real quick, I just want to answer Val Ramos. Thank you for the question. He says, okay, better. What if the Niners don't make the playoffs? Is Brock still worth $60 million? Well, you got to put it into context first and foremost. Did we miss the playoffs because our defense can't stop a run, can't stop plays, and Brock is still delivering points and he's still delivering the ball with anticipation? He's still making good decisions, but we can't get there because of our defense? Then yes, he's worth $60 million, regardless of if we make the playoffs or not. as long as it's not on Brock. So things have to be put into context to kind of get a good answer to this question. But I appreciate the question. If Brock is the reason, like, is he's throwing the ball or he's turning the ball over, he's making bad reads, he's making mistakes, and we don't make the playoffs because of Brock, then that is definitely a question to have and discuss. But I don't think if we miss the playoffs, it's going to be because of Brock. It's going to be because of that defense not able to stop anybody when they need to. This defense is not the same, and it's bleeded into the offense. And then for us not being, we were what, number one in the red zone last year? What are we, 30th, 28th this year?
Last.
Or last?
We're dead last.
That's
dead
a drop.
last.
I mean, that's not a drop. That is a drop. So what has changed since last year? We have the same personnel, except
I can tell you.
CMC.
I can tell you. CMC. That's the answer right there.
What
Like we said,
you would have to
Kyle
think it
can
is
do jack
because
shit
he's the only
without
one that's missing from the bunch.
I think that's too low hanging fruit. Like it's for me. I don't think that that's the only reason. I think if CMC was here, we'd still be struggling.
But do
I don't
we
think
struggle? Will we be last in the red zone? Probably not.
Maybe not dead last. I don't, but I don't know that we'd be great
But
either.
even if we were in the middle of the pack,
But
that's still decent.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think so. See, you saw how much Kyle used CMC last year, and this is honestly
How many
probably
touchdowns
why
did he have last year?
tendonitis.
Brandon,
But
do you know?
think about this. Think about
Can
this.
you look it up?
Like,
How many touchdowns CMC had last year?
He had 26, right?
No, red zone touchdowns though.
Oh, 18.
See, 18
Okay,
red zone
I get it.
touchdowns.
I get it, but
Thank you, Brandon.
it's not. It's an execution issue. Like, there's execution issues are the reason why they're not getting. They're not scoring in the red zone. They still have weapons all over the place. It's CMC is not some like it. This is the thing. What happened with Mason's fumble? How badly was it blocked up? It was terrible blocking. There was no communication on the offensive line. Like the offensive line, Mason is doing more with that offensive line. They're not opening holes for him.
No, he's finding.
Like there's been a couple of times where they've gotten it blocked up pretty good, but for the most part, he is finding making something out of nothing. And that is the issue with our red zone. Like we can't get 2 yards. We can't get 2 yards with our running backs with this offensive line. Like that is the problem. Like we can't if we can't get 2 yards when you need it, how are you supposed to be better on third down? How are you supposed to be better it's going to make you be inconsistent. It all comes back to that offensive line. But I want to can I answer throwback because they all jumped on me about saying I didn't say Kevin O'Connell was a bad coach. I didn't say Ben Johnson was a bad coach either. What I said is that with the 49ers current roster construction, you could not bring those guys in and think that their system is just going to do anything. Like the reality is our offense, it is built specifically for Kyle's system. So you can think that it's that it would be different, and when I say that, what have they done? I mean, they've done just as much. They haven't even done as much as Kyle's done.
No, they haven't. Not even close because they're not head coaches.
Kevin O'Connell.
At least not.
Kevin O'Connell is.
Yeah, I was going to correct myself. At least not Ben Johnson. O'Connell has, or is, right?
Yeah, he is. He's Minnesota. He's undefeated.
That's right.
Like and what he's done with and I like it's just with Sam Darnold. Like let's not act like he did.
Playoffs.
Let's not act like he made Kirk Cousins or anything like that. Like that's not factual at all. Kirk Cousins is still the same quarterback that he's always been. Like he's not special because of Kevin O'Connell. Ben Johnson, I get it. Like but that runs through that offensive line. Their offense runs through that offense. As that offensive line goes, so does that team.
Yeah, yeah, and they're running a system there too to cater to Jared Goff just as much. We have it in
They
San
run the ball.
Francisco.
They got a two-headed monster at running back that they just run the ball a ton. Like Jared Goff, and Jared Goff benefits from the play action and benefits from having that really good running game. And he has a good offensive line. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, listen, when you're losing, there's frustration.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you're losing, we can all, rightfully so, we can pick at things that we don't like. Nobody cares when you're winning. When the Niners started off, 5-0 last year, nobody was mentioning Kyle. Nobody was mentioning this, Brock, or mentioning that. Now, moving on, because we are hit the hour, and I want to talk a little bit about Seattle.
Okay.
In your opinion, and I'll start with you, Pete, then Brandon, and I'll answer. How important is this win, particularly because of the division? We already lost 2 divisional games. Forget about the conference, because we lost those 2, but division games. We're only, after all, losing the way we lost, we're only 1 game away from first place. We beat Seattle, we're first place. And I'm not, who cares whether we keep it or not, but we are first place. How important is this dub for the Niners? Now, am I saying if we lose, the season's over? No. But I'm just asking, how important is this win for the Niners? Go ahead, Pete, and then Brandon, you can answer your come after.
I mean, every game is a must win at this point. In my opinion, they've got to have it, because their only road in the playoffs, their only way to get any kind of home field advantage is to win their division. Like that means they'll have 1. But like the good thing for them is that nobody has really taken a foothold except for Minnesota has kind of taken over the NFC. There's a lot of 2-3s and 3-2s.
They're smoking mirrors. To me, I don't care
Yeah,
what people say. Vikings are smoking mirrors.
They're a good team.
No,
They're
I
a
didn't
good
say
team.
we're not a good
They have
team.
a really good defense,
But they're not
and
going to
like
advance in the playoffs, bro. Come on.
well, I don't know. I don't know. I'm reserving judgment because I just feel like they've got something rolling there, and you got to respect it. But it's not like in the past where you knew they were a fraud. They're going out and beating teams this season. It's not like it was before.
Who have they beaten this year?
I mean,
you're like, wow,
okay.
I did not see them.
They beat the 49ers. Let's look it up. They beat the 49ers.
You talking about Arizona?
No, we're talking about Minnesota.
Oh,
Minnesota. Minnesota. Yeah.
Where's North?
They beat the Jets, who can't even beat themselves.
So they beat the Giants 28-6.
Okay.
They beat the 49ers. Then they beat the Texans 34-7.
The Texans are not who
they beat the Packers
last year.
Then they went and beat the Packers in Lambeau.
Without Jordan Love, though. Without Jordan Love. Oh, no, no. He did play.
No, Jordan Love was playing.
He played that game.
He came back.
He played that game.
It was his first game.
I get it. And I get it. But my point is Jordan Love doesn't play on division defense. Game. Jordan Love don't play on defense. And they put up 31 points versus the Texans, who I feel D'Amico's a pretty good they've got a pretty decent defense over there. And they put up 34. Like the 49ers, they got 23. The Giants, they got 28. The Giants don't even have a bad defense. Like they don't have a good team, but they don't have a bad defense. And then the Jets, they put up 23. So like they can score some points, is my point. And their defense, they've only allowed 17, 7. They had one game where they allowed 29, and then they allowed 17. Like it's like they're not the Vikings of the past. I don't feel. No, they're a much better team this year.
The 2013 Vikings that went.
I think people are waiting for Darnold.
Better. than this team.
I think. Wait. What teams?
The 2013 or the remember when they won?
Oh, 2013. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the last couple of years when people were expecting them to be good, and they
Oh, I
were like,
got you.
they turned out to be frauds.
Because the last time they were
Like,
5-0 was 2013, and that team was way
Yeah.
better.
yeah, that's a whole different era in my mind.
Yeah.
Like,
It calls as a
I'm
question. In a couple of years, who would you rather have as a head coach, Manning or Brady?
Manning or Brady?
Peyton Manning or Tom Brady?
Manning.
Yeah, I agree. I always thought Manning is a better quarter. I think he's a better
Oh,
quarterback.
I think Brady is the better of the two. I think Brady's the better of the two quarterbacks. But who I would want, I think Manning would be
The coach?
meticulous.
So why do
Yeah.
you say Brady's
As a
better than
coach.
both quarterbacks? Because he has 6 Super Bowls or 7?
It's not just because of that. I just think he showed up when he absolutely had to, and I think Manning was a beneficiary sometimes. Like the ones that he won, he shouldn't have won. He went like, I mean, Chicago when he beat the worst quarterback to ever play in a Super Bowl. Like and then he shouldn't have even won that game. He had 2 interceptions in that game in that Super Bowl, and then he couldn't even throw for his second.
You talk about Manning?
Second one that he won. Yeah, I'm talking about Manning.
And Tom Brady lost 2 games to his brother.
What does that have to do with anything?
That's
Like
sad.
Manning had the top offense for years, for years, and but he always hit a wall when he went up against a good defense.
I think Manning had a
And,
bad coach.
I think that I mean, everywhere Manning went, he was the coach.
Oh,
It was his offense.
Same thing with Brady.
Well, he wasn't he did what they told him to. They gave him
The
the
first couple of
offense.
years, bro. Come on.
No, it's for the first couple of years. It wasn't Brady.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's when it wasn't Brady. But once Brady became Brady, he started to run the offense just like Manning,
Oh yeah,
wherever you went.
yeah. Same but different.
Same but different, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But Manning, I would go with Manning, regardless. We have our different views on who's better, but we do agree that we would take Manning over Brady. Who would you take
For a coach.
For a coach,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Based on his
I
little coaching things that he does for the ESPN, cracks me up.
Yeah.
He likes to role play a lot of things. You notice that he likes to role play a lot of things
Yeah.
out there.
I love watching the two of them, the Manning cast. I love it.
They're funny.
Because to me, it's not even that it's funny. He watches the game exactly like I do. Like I could be talking to somebody, but then when the when the play is going on, he stops whatever he's saying to that person. He's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they did."
Oh yeah.
And
He's into the game.
he is like laser focused on the game. I love it.
They've been having Coach Belichick on there for a few times, and I know Eli was getting a little bit upset because Coach Belichick can't hear very well, I guess, and they were trying. Payne was asking Eli a question, and Belichick wouldn't shut up. He would just talk and talk and talk, and you can see Payne like, man, this dude, shut up. You know what I mean? I thought it was funny. That's what I say is funny. It's not exactly what they do; it's what they don't do that makes me laugh, or the guests they bring in and how they mess up. And Belichick's a hell of a good person and coach, but he's just up there in age, and he's talking, he's excited, and he forgets that there's.
I like him on TV.
No,
I like him on TV.
But he forgets that he's not the only one on TV, though.
Well, he's the GOAT coach. So you shut up and listen. I'm about to drop some knowledge.
It's not your show, though.
Doesn't matter. It's always It's always my show.
Well, I guarantee you that Peyton Manning has something different to say about that.
Yeah, he can say what he wants to. Scoreboard.
So real quick, so you answer your question. Brandon answered Seahawks, so we can get out of here.
Yeah.
Do they need to beat the Seahawks, or like a must? I know every game is a must game, but this is a divisional game. We're already down. We're already 0-2 in our division. Going 0-3 is not good.
This is 100% a must-win game. Like straight up, we need to win this game.
Gotta have it.
It's going to be
It's
interesting to see what they do against that run.
It's like
Number 9 is running
Example.
good.
It's like example. This is like a desperate win, basically.
Yeah, but like Mike Tyson, to quote Mike Tyson, everybody thinks they can fight until they get punched in the mouth. So we have to
Here,
wait and see.
I'm gonna play this real quick. What Nick Bosa said today, just real quick.
How much more pressure is on this game given that you have lost 2 divisional games?
It's a lot of pressure. It's not a must-win because stealing Kyle's team meeting thing because technically your season's over if it's a must-win, but it definitely feels like it's over-treated that way.
I had a question about.
So basically, Bosa said that
Get him off the
def-
mic in front of the away from social media, and I guarantee you he's thinking something different. This is what he's supposed to say, Brandon. This is not what he's thinking. This is what he's supposed to say to back up and support his team. But you get him one-on-one away from the media, I guarantee you both is like telling you something different.
Well, honestly, not exactly, because he practically called out the front office on Sunday.
No, of course. But he's calling it based on the play, based on the defense, how and stuff. But
Or the coaching staff, I should say, not the front office.
Yeah, the coaching staff.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't do it again.
I'm sure,
They
'cause Kyle
probably
was
spoke to
pissed.
him, and he was a little emotional.
Kyle.
I'm not saying he's wrong. I am not saying that he's wrong, but he probably was a little emotional. Who can blame him? This game was in the bag. The Rams game was in the bag, and the Niners just let their foot off the gas and allowed them to come back. I mean,
All
you
the
couldn't
time.
mustered any points in the second half. Now, did it help that we had 3 turnovers in the second half? No.
And no kicker.
And no kicker.
And no kicker.
So we had to go for it on 4th and 23, which we wouldn't have done if we had a kicker. So, circumstances did arise that day, and it kind of sucked. But I think this is a must-win game. Is the season over? No. But I think for purposes of trying to win the division, it is. But this whole division is up for grabs. I mean, the damn Rams have a chance.
We might be the worst division in the league.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
The most embarrassing
We used
division.
to be, we used to be the best division in the league.
We're becoming the South of AFC South.
No, we're
How
becoming
they
the
went back.
NFC
Remember the
East.
AFC South before they got better? They were
Yeah.
bad.
We're becoming the NFC East, bro. Let's be real.
NFC what?
East.
NFC East.
Well,
Yeah.
NFC East has always had their ups and downs. Give and take. They're pretty good this year. Except
Yep.
Philly. I mean, Washington's the first place.
Well, Cowboys stink too.
Yeah, the Cowboys. Well, the
Cowboys don't
Cowboys
even look
always
good.
stunk. What is new there? Tell me something I don't know. They're smoking
Yeah.
mirrors. They're the definition of smoking mirrors. They can play good in the regular season and then just get bounced on the playoffs. All right, guys, we have hit that hour. We have quite a few people still in here, but we're an hour and 20 minutes. Pete, we got to honor your time because you're ahead of us. What do you got going on your channel this week? Let us know, or not. Let everybody in the comment know what you're doing.
So Niner Fanatic
Oop, wrong
Podcast.
button. Sorry,
Oh,
I do that all the time.
yeah, I know. Like only when I'm talking.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Mouth.
But Niner Fanatic Podcast this Thursday after the game. I'll be doing an instant reaction, even though it's going to be late. But it'll be late for me. But make sure I'm on Twitter. You can get it on Facebook. You can get it on YouTube. You can get it on Twitch. Anywhere where you can get your audio podcast. I don't care where you get it. Just get it. And then make sure that you tell a friend to tell a friend so we can be friends every day, every week. Because, I mean, come on. Who doesn't want to get yelled at by this face on a daily basis? So, yeah, just tune in Thursday after the game.
Love it. Brandon, what you got going on your channel, bro?
All right, we'll be going live tomorrow night to preview Thursday night's game versus Seattle. And then after the game, hopefully, I'm hoping that we'll go live after the game as well to go over the game and basically talk how the Niners did and everything. Be sure to hit that like, subscribe button. We're at 704. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So please hit that subscribe button. We appreciate the support. Also, we're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio for all your audio podcasting. If you want to listen to us on the way to work, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, all that good stuff. Anywhere you get your podcasts, it's there.
Just
Yeah.
get it.
Just get it.
And for myself on Tuesdays, again, every Tuesday at 6:30 here on the channel, we have, this wonderful podcast, the BOYZ podcast. And on Thursdays, me and Jess from the East Coast Red and Gold, we go live at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Thursdays. And then I'll go live periodically depending what happens, what mood am I on my board. I may go on during the week. So make sure that you have the notification bell lit up so that when I do go live, and if you are available at that time, you will get the notification that I am live and you can come and join me. Guys, it's always a pleasure. I want to say thank you.
Beto,
Yes.
make sure that we send some prayers up for Florida.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
prayers up to Florida.
Let's do it now.
Kel's had a good point.
Let me pray.
That's
Let me pray.
as a because as a person that lives in a hurricane state, it's real. Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
And
I appreciate you brought that up. Thank you, Pete. You're right. 230 plus people have lost their lives, and now they're dealing with another hurricane, Milton,
Another
I think, and
That's
Florida,
wild.
and it's just, and yeah, I was going to say something political, but I'm not going to do that. So let's just lift them up in prayer. Heavenly Father, we just come before you and we pray for the people in Florida, the people in North Carolina, Father God, that you will just comfort them, meet their needs, strengthen them, let them get funded by the government, let people be able to help out and aid through them, Father God. Give FEMA the ability to help them to the best of their ability. Father, we just pray that you will protect them in harm's way, that you will just be with them, strengthen their families, and help them rebuild, Father God. We keep them in our prayers. Let them feel our love from all over the world and just protect them in your precious hand. And we say in agreement, amen. And
Amen.
Thank you so much, Pete, for bringing it up. I do appreciate that. It did slip my mind, and I was going to do it, and it slipped my mind. So I'm glad that you brought up. And just real quick before we go, I always say this on every show, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. You guys in the comments are the MVP. You guys that show up and hang out with us, that listen to us.
Y'all were live tonight.
You guys are.
Yeah, you guys are there, man.
You guys rock. You guys do you guys are the reason why me, Pete, and Brandon do this, because you give us motivation. You come on and support us. We love you guys. We appreciate you. We may not always get to your questions or bring up your comments, but you are definitely seen and recognized, whether we bring it up or not. You are seen by us. So we love you guys. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next Tuesday at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time with a victory over Seattle on Thursday. Until then, we are out of here. Have a wonderful night. God bless everyone.
Go Niners.
Go Niners.